What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. My name is Daniel Hung, but you can call me that guy Danny. I'm a fourth-year Belizean medical student studying in Cuba, and so I make videos about my experiences in Cuba, and I also dabble a little bit in music production, videography, photography, and tech. So if you're interested in any of that, don't hesitate to give a like, share, and subscribe because it helps more than you think it does. Alright guys, so in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about money because no one likes to talk about money, and I think it'd be insightful for some people, especially how much money I spend per month as a medical student in Cuba. For instance, us as Belizean medical students who are studying medicine in Cuba on scholarship, we are fortunate enough not to have to spend anything on accommodation because we live in a school. Room and board, water and electricity are included, albeit with some limitations. And along with that, we also get a stipend of $150 per month. That is until recently, due to the fact that we are living in some end times right now. And so there's been increased economic strain on the government. So our stipend is being reduced from $150 a month to just $100. Ouch. So starting this September, we're no longer going to be getting our $150 a month, but instead we're going to be getting $100 a month. Now I can understand why they came to that decision. Things are pretty rough and a lot of countries are trying to make by cutting costs down as much as they can. But I believe at least the students studying in Cuba should kind of be exempted, because unless you've been living here for a good amount of time like us, only then would you really understand why even a small drop of our stipend can really affect us greatly, especially in times when prices are rising and things are getting really, really harder to find. Now, I'm not a person that likes to dwell on the negative side of life, so in today's video, I'm gonna see how far I can stretch this $100. I'm gonna be making two plans. The first plan is going to be a all-purpose plan that hopefully works for everyone, and the next plan is my own personal one. So let's go. Woo! Alright, so I got some bad news. When I was working on this video, I was trying to make a all-purpose jack-of-all-trades budget that could fit everybody's workflow. What I realized was that there are so many variables that I had to consider. There are people who love to cook, there are people who rather eat out, there are people who love buying their own things in the grocery store, there are some people who come with stuff already and don't really need to buy as much, there's people who love to travel, there's people who are frugal. There are all kinds of people out there, and there was no way. It was very difficult for me to even try to find one that fits everybody. I'm gonna just list out some of the categories that I had in mind, right? And then I'm just gonna talk about the different aspects of each of them, and so that you can kind of make your own budget plan. And the categories are food and hygiene, communications, laundry, leisure, and savings. So in the food and hygiene category, this basically involves the money that you'll spend eating out, trips to the grocery store, purchasing, whether that be canned foods, pasta, and even hygiene products like shampoos, toothpaste, lotions, what have you. Based on my research and talking to most of the students here, I have a list of items here and their approximate pricing. It gives you a good idea on what to expect. Cereal is usually $2.50 to $3.55. A small Nescafe coffee can generally run you 5 cc. A pound of milk powder for $1.50. Oil for $2. Flour for $2. A pack of chicken for $8. Sausage for $1.4. Biscuits and cookies range from $1 to $2. Toothpaste. Now that's a funny one, because local toothpaste usually costs about $1.40, but it can get pricey. So as of now, if you were to look online, there are a lot of buy and sell sites even for Cuba on Facebook, and you can see that some people are charging almost 30 to 35 CUC on a Colgate brand toothpaste, and that's crazy. You know, some are even going through like a bartering system. So like, if I have Colgate, I will trade you my small tub of Colgate for a pack of rice, sausages, oil, flour. Like, it's crazy. Like they say, when demand is high, prices go up. Alright, anyway, let's continue. Mouthwash for $10, shampoo for $8 to $12. Soap powder can range from 50 cents to $12, averaging around $5 depending on the size of the bag. Laundry softener 15, regular soap like around 55 cents, Dove soap $2.60. Deodorant, a 50 ml deodorant is about $1.30. And when it comes to food, generally if you're buying local food like from local restaurants, you know, you'll be paying about 35 to 50 moneda nacional, which converts to about like 1.5 to $2 US. And of course prices could be even higher, but this is just kind of like the most economical price range that I think exists. And you know, fancy food can go from $2.50 and up. In the communications category, here you have, you know, mobile data, minutes, SMS, and Wi-Fi. I'm gonna be putting the different graphics up on the screen right now for the varying prices that, you know, Wi-Fi costs, mobile data costs, minutes, and SMS. So yeah, so you can just pause the video and kind of like, I'll just put it on the screen so that you can watch. So in the laundry category, there are two types of people. There are people who love to wash their clothes, and there are also people who rather not wash their clothes. I mean, rather have somebody wash clothes for them, right? So if you are that person, there are a lot of places in Cuba, some actual, you know, dedicated laundromats, and others are just like a person's house. There are these people called tias who offer this kind of service, and they charge approximately 1 moneda nacional per piece of clothing. Those are like for shirts and pants and socks, you know, smallish clothes, but they can go up to 2 or 3 moneda nacional per piece of clothes once you go up to like towels and like bed sheets, bigger stuff. Some even offer like plans. So just to give a little bit of context, if I were to give $10, right, to a tia for the month, I can approximately get 250 pieces of clothes washed for me. Or if I rather wash my own clothes, for the same $10, I can approximately get 10 bags, 10 small bags of washing detergent, you know. And depending on how you wash, it could probably last you and actually save you money. But for me, I'd rather have somebody wash my clothes so that I can have more time to spend on other things. Okay, now the fourth category is leisure. And in this section, as the name suggests, the money you put into this category is for going out, traveling other parts of Cuba, traveling within the province that you are, or just going out, having a good time at a bar, or that's what we all do nowadays. So for example, to travel to other provinces in Cuba, I'm going to be putting up on the screen some of the updated pricing for all of that. But they generally range from around, like, I think the highest is like $5. I might be wrong. I might be wrong, but yeah, generally the price is around so to go from one end of the island to the next end. And from there, that's just transport. I'll get you one of those AC, you know, buses. Like, it's kind of similar to the Adeo from Mexico, and yeah, pretty comfy. And from there, you can even save even more money if you live in the school, or if you want to renting out like a room for a night or two. Generally costs like $10 a night or $15 a night or up, depending on how, you know, cool or awesome or bougie the area that you're staying is. And then, you know, food, like I mentioned, you can go local or you can go bougie, whatever is your choice. Other than the national buses that I talked about, you can always hire private taxis to take you where you want to go. Those are generally a lot more expensive. And the last category, which is savings, It's pretty much self-explanatory. You're saving your money for a better day. So hopefully, after hearing me talk about these different categories and what you can expect to spend in each of them, you start to realize the issue here. And the issue here is you can put every part of your $100 into each of these categories, but then you realize by trying to satisfy all areas, you end up not being satisfied in any of them particularly. You form what I call the jack of all trades budget. If you're a jack of all trades, you're pretty much a master of none. And that's the same thing with this budget. This plan attempts to incorporate everything a person would want to do, with the only compromise of neither category being satisfying on its own, right? Let's say you split $20 between all 5 of these categories. How much food can you buy? You know, how much hygiene products can you buy with your $20? And would it last you a month? Maybe hygiene products? Sure. But food? I don't think so. So now, let's talk about my personal budget plan and how I spend this $100. A full disclaimer, before all of this budget cut, I was spending a little bit more than $100. You know, probably around $150. You know, before I came back to Cuba for the Christmas, you know, I spent Christmas in Belize. I've had already bought like some stuff to bring with me. You know, I'm grateful that I actually took that trip back in December, because who knew that this would happen, right? Who knew 2020 would be such a... So I came here with some hygiene products already to last me at least till summer now, right? And I brought some food stuff, I brought some other random things. So I still have some of these products left. That, combined with the fact that I actually live within the school, I'm not renting out, I'm not paying for rent. I have electricity and water, but obviously, you know, at certain times of the day, not 24/7. I get food from the cafeteria. I get food from the school cafeteria. It's okay. And all these things combined mean I don't really have to pay as much out of my pocket, and I can actually use this $100 a lot more efficiently, if you want to think that is. So yeah, let's talk about how I distribute my $100. Okay, so my $100 is divided into 3 important areas of my life, and that's food, communications, and outsourcing. So in the food category, I eat 3 times a day. Well, the cafeteria feeds us 3 times a day, but I usually miss breakfast because I oversleep or I wake up pretty late. So yeah, Commodore gives us 3 meals per day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The food, it's alright, but I would not trust it to help you solely by itself, so I would recommend supplementing it with food, either like snacks or like extra foods, because it's not really enough. I spend $50 US dollars $50 a month, right? I divide this $50 into 2 $25, you know, chunks. So in this first $25, I spend it mostly on local food, and on the next $25, I spend it more on bougie food. So in terms of economic food, I go to a local restaurant. I don't even think you can call it a restaurant, but it's someone's house, some Cuban's house, that they happen to make food as well to sell. So we could go to their house, order the food, you know, and then come back out. And food there costs about 35 moneda nacional, which is equivalent to like $1.50 US. And with that money, you get, you know, your rice, you get your starch, you get your salad, and you also get some meat, whether that be chicken, pork, or fish. It's a decent portion. And so with $25 is equivalent to around 600 moneda nacional. So if you divide 600 by 35, you're gonna get about 17 plates of food. So 1 food every day for 17 days. Or at least that's how I do it. In the bougie food department, you have all those restaurants, you know, high-end touristy areas. Around Santiago de Cuba, there's a lot of like Chinese restaurants, Italian restaurants, you know, what have you. And yeah, food generally ranges from around $3, you know, for like pizzas and pastas, and it can go up to as much as you want it to, right? I generally spend like around $3 to $5 per every time I go, maximum 10, but on average 3 to 5. So how I manage my food is I eat at the school cafeteria every day. During the weekdays, I also supplement myself with some economical food, and then on the weekends I supplement myself with some bougie food. For example, I could eat for lunch from the school cafeteria, and then for dinner I can eat economical food. During the weekends I could eat from the school cafeteria for dinner, right? And I can have bougie food for lunch. So I usually have economical food during the weekdays, and I have bougie food during the weekend. And that way I spread my food sources evenly across the month, and that's how, you know, I kind of don't get bored of what I'm eating, and it's always exciting. That's how I do my food. Alright, so let's talk about communications, and this is actually my favorite section because I don't want to be trapped, right? This section includes everything from calling credit, SMS, Wi-Fi, and even mobile data. Everything related to communication within and outside of Cuba. This category is important to me because of the work I do with YouTube, and you know, I always want to connect with family and friends. What I like about Wi-Fi is the fact that in Cuba, you are charged based on time used and not data used. So for example, in an hour, I can burn maybe 14 gigabytes of Wi-Fi if it's possible, you know, and I'd still be paying for that 1 hour of Wi-Fi. Unlike mobile data, which you pay for the amount of data you use, Wi-Fi, you pay for the amount of time you use. So anything you do within the time allotted for you, you're good. You're good to go. So I love using Wi-Fi to watch YouTube videos and download large files, and as well as doing some research. Wi-Fi costs in Cuba have drastically been reduced over the years, and now it costs 70 cents an hour. There's a Wi-Fi park in the school, but sadly we still have to pay for that, but what can you do? So for me, I usually use almost 30 hours of Wi-Fi a month. I would put $20 into, you know, Wi-Fi. That would give me about 28.5 hours to use, which is pretty good. So because of the internet, because of Wi-Fi, and because of the introduction of mobile data to Cuba recently, I haven't been buying calling credit or text lately. The only time I have calling credit or text is when it's bundled, right, in these promotions that Etexa gives us. So for example, sometimes there's a promotion where when you put $20 into your primary balance, you get a bonus balance of like maybe some minutes and some SMS, sometimes even data. Mobile data prices range on the SKU or the type that you go for. So like whether you go for the 1 gigabyte plan, 10 gigabyte plan, you know, 14 gigabyte plan, it depends, right? I'll put a picture right now showing you all the different SKUs and all the different prices that you can expect to pay. All of these plans, right, they expire within a month. So as soon as you purchase the plan and start using it, then the countdown timer of 30 days begins. Based on my usage habits, I find that I'd go for the $20 plan, which gives you roughly 5.5 gigabytes of mobile data to use per month. And as you can see, at the end of it all, I can call and text, which is taken from the bonus credit from the promotion or the bundles. I can also enjoy mobile data, which is subtracted from my primary balance, and I also have Wi-Fi, so win-win-win. Okay, last and final category is outsourcing. Now, outsourcing is basically where I put all the things that I rather not do so that I can put more time and effort into other things in my life. So, for example, lately I've been outsourcing laundry because it saves me a lot of time that I can be using for like studying or preparing for another YouTube video for you guys. When I first came to Cuba, in my pre-med days, I was actually washing all of my clothes. But as you grow and as you venture on into the higher years, you realize time is pretty limited, and that combined with the fact that we don't have water 24 hours, we only have it like, for example, in the morning from 7 to 8, sometimes 10, 11 if we're lucky, and it comes back at like around 4 to like 7. Sometimes it's just not feasible to be washing your clothes, and so I outsource it to tias. In any part of Cuba, you will find tias. These tias do laundry services, and it's a very popular, I would say, side hustle or like job that Cubans employ to get some extra cash. 5 minutes away from the school, I go to my own personal tia, and she washes my clothes for approximately 1 moneda nacional per piece of clothes, right? Like I mentioned before, which is equivalent to like 0.05 US dollars. And the price range increases, you know, depending on the type of laundry that I bring. So it's gonna be more costly. It's gonna be about 2 to 3 moneda nacional for like bed sheets and towels, you know, basically bigger cloth that takes a lot more time to do it. I would give it in today and I can expect it by tomorrow. Some you pay per wash, and some have devised a cuenta system, or like a pre-purchase system kind of, where you pay them in advance and then like they subtract from every time you come from your account. And with how hard things have been, sometimes there isn't detergent, so some of them will sometimes ask you to bring your own detergent, or if you want for them to buy it, you know, that's usually part of the cuenta system. So for me, I pay $10 up front with my personal tia, and I get like 175 pieces of clothes washed and 3 detergents that she will go and buy. I think with detergent being so hard to find, and like some are limiting you to just 1 or 2, right? And the lines for it, man, the lines is so long. I think I'm okay paying the extra 3 CUC just so I can save some time, you know, and I don't have to wait in too long of a line to try to get it. And sometimes you reach to the end of the line and you don't get it. It runs out. So I would say the $10 plan is worth it. It actually lasted me like a month and a half. It's been working out real sweet for me, so. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. You know, with the way I have things set up, I can, you know, I can eat, I can, you know, communicate with the world, and I can basically have my clothes washed. So thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed it, if it brought any value to you, make sure you give it a like, share it with those that you think will benefit from this video, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future video from me. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Water should be coming soon, so I'm gonna go bathe. Catch you on the next one.